Hit record. So thank you everyone for starting. And so we could start on the rooted hook side if you want.
Oh man, I told Andrew he was gonna start.
Because I'm looking at my left here. I'm kind of working
Okay.
left to right. So why don't you tell us who you are and what do you do?
So I'm Nicole and I am the owner of the Rooted Hook. And the Rooted Hook showcases different organizations in the area and beyond in wellness and beauty. I now have my own beauty and wellness shop, which is very exciting, and it's inside of our integrative wellness center. So it's really nice because we have kind of a one-stop shop here now, where you can come in and shop for your nutritional needs as well as, take a yoga class or take a Pilates class, mind body wellness, and physical therapy. So it's just a really lovely spot and it feels like home. Actually, we're in it right now. You can see.
Love it. Love that. So how did you actually start? Like what was kind of like the first thing that you did? Like was it always kind of in its current state or were you like in content? Like how did you kind of launch?
You mean the Rooted Hook or the overall wellness center?
The rooted hook.
Okay. Um, well, I worked in the food manufacturing industry for 8 years. And it was in a corporate setting and I was tired of that setting and I went and got my esthetician's license. So that's where the beauty comes in. Then I was working for a flexible fitness company. So I was in charge of extending the company's territory into the Mid-Atlantic region. And I was working with a lot of different fitness studios in the area. And that's kind of that was my door into the fitness side of things. And so part of in that role, I was doing a lot of marketing and showcasing different organizations. And just had a really great time with it, gotten really involved in the community and felt a lot of fulfillment in that regard. And so I was doing that for a couple of years and it made sense to expand to retail with the nutrition and the beauty aspects as well.
Fantastic. And kind of like, I guess, walk me through what was happening, like, maybe like 90, maybe 120 days ago, roughly, like start of the year, call it. Like, how are you kind of like what were you kind of doing before things just like completely came, to a stop?
It was actually a very exciting time for all of us. We opened up our doors. We had an open house that really just kind of blew us all out of the water. We had so many people come. There was a line out the door. The parking lot was filled. We were flying pretty high. We were so excited about, just our new center. And shortly after, I think we were just getting in our groove and then the pandemic hit. So, all of us have been forced to adjust, obviously, and we're all offering our services online, which, was an adjustment for us and our customers, clients, and patients. But we're very grateful for, all of the support that we've received from our community and for, the people that allow us to do what we love.
And what's that look like kind of on the online front? Like maybe just walk the listeners through like where they can kind of follow you and like, kind of like what the offering is there.
So if you go to www.restorative.com, you'll find a list of all of our services. It directly links to the Rooted Hooks storefront, so you can shop all of the products that we have. You can also take online yoga classes, mind body classes. You can book your PT appointments, which are still happening in the center. And you can also book for your Pilates classes as well. And Pilates
Fantastic.
classes are being offered privately or online.
That's awesome. Well, thank you again so much for doing this. And I know we've got a full house. We're going to keep it moving. So, Brenna, you want to maybe go up next and let us know, who you are and what are you doing and kind of like how you got started.
I'm next. Okay, so hi, thanks so much for having us. We really appreciate it. We've been really looking forward to speaking with you. My name's Brenna Hosang, and I own True Pilates Virginia Beach. Um, I got into Pilates when I was in college. I was a collegiate athlete and was looking for something different as far as, cross training, and kind of fell into Pilates, moved to New York, got certified, and then came back to Virginia Beach where I was born and raised, and opened my own studio. And then a couple of years later started training apprentices as well. So there's a big organization called Romana's Pilates, which I'm affiliated with. And so I'm a teacher trainer as well as just a regular instructor and business owner for local clients. And so I help affiliate or assist apprentices going through the entire certification program in-house. So I kind of do a little bit of everything, and just kind of I connected with Nicole maybe a year and a half ago, reconnected with Becca, knew her from way back when, and just kind of got that ball rolling for the wellness center. So it's been great. I've really enjoyed being here.
And can you break down maybe like what exactly is Pilates and kind of like what you do? And
Sure. So Pilates, it's a form of exercise. The method that I teach would be a classical method. It would be using the same equipment that Joseph Pilates designed himself. I use the same manufacturer the same family. It's the Gratz family, so we use Gratz equipment. It's definitely by far the best equipment out there. And so we teach that classical method that he taught and passed down to Romana, hence the name Romana's Pilates. She was one of his direct students, and so they've kept that in the family. It's not mat work, which a lot of people think. There's a whole system involving equipment, and it's a fully stocked studio. It's the only fully equipped studio in the state of Virginia that has all the equipment. So I've got enough equipment to host private lessons and small groups. And now I've moved into the virtual world. So it's a form of exercise that is going to focus mostly on your powerhouse, which is what we call it, your core. So we want to strengthen your core. We look at a lot of balance, coordination, precision, breath, flow. Those are all principles of Pilates. And I have clients that vary in age from 6 or 7 all the way up to in their 80s, and all different fitness levels. So I've got people that are sedentary. They've been sedentary their whole life, and they've had a couple of joint replacements, or they've got, rods in their back, to athletes that come in. So it's a wonderful form of exercise that anyone can do, so long as you're under good supervision. Doing a group class wouldn't be the best idea to start off. So hopefully that helps clarify.
yeah, that's great. Maybe can you talk me through a little bit of the virtual offering of what you do, and kind of like, let us know how you went from, where we all were kind of in person, kind of before coronavirus, and then kind of where we are now after, we're not after, but we're still in it. So how are you kind of, transitioning your offering to online?
I have a good friend that lives in New York. She's a colleague of mine, and she has been teaching virtually on and off for the last couple of years. And when I saw things start to happen about a week before, I just had a feeling that, we were going to be following the same suit as other states. And I reached out to her, and she was gracious enough to give me an hour of her time right there that day to give me a crash course on how to run virtual classes. And I had that course, and it was the next day that the governor announced. So overnight, I switched my platform. It's just my nature that once I put my mind to something, that's just the way it's going to be. And thankfully, I had many clients right from the get-go that switched over overnight for me. And then within the first 2 weeks, many more jumped on board. I've been very, very grateful and thankful that so many of my clients, and even people that weren't my clients, people that live in other states that, you know, would have to travel to come and take lessons from me. They've been doing virtual lessons weekly because now it's a thing, you know, now they can. And I've actually been able to take lessons from higher level instructors on a weekly basis, once or twice. Sometimes I'm lucky enough I can grab in 3 times. So it's something that I've always wanted to do, but just never had the flexibility to, you know, I can't travel to New York or LA or, you know, Dallas every single week, but now I can. So it's really been great for me as a student and as a teacher. Taking those online courses as a student has helped me become a better teacher virtually to my clients. I'm fully a proponent that you need to practice what you preach. So it's really, it's been a good reset for me in a lot of ways as a person, as a business owner. So I've actually tried to really enjoy this time, and I will continue to offer this as a platform going forward, because people like the convenience of being at home, or maybe they can't leave, they've got young children, or they live out of state, or they're on vacation or whatever. So it's actually, while it's been challenging, it's opened a lot of doors, I think, for all of us here at the center, that we now have another avenue to reach people.
For sure. It's like you can kind of service, you know, the entire world in a way versus like, you know, one state or something like that. So that's great.
We did.
How do you,
We
how
did
do
even
you,
do we did. Brenna was leading in the very beginning of this. Do you remember we did the PE for charity, and Brenna was leading Pilates classes for children as kind of like PE credits, and she did that as a donation-based class, and we donated the profits of that to local restaurants. That was before, you know, all the loans and everything came out.
it's fantastic.
You know.
Yeah,
And
it was the parents like a quick 45-minute breather to be like, all right, I can go make some dinner, and you go
and my kids
burn off
enjoyed
some
it.
steam.
We enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fun.
for sure. Yeah, no, that was kind of a little bit of segue to what I was going to ask you next. I was going to ask you, like, how do you actually sort of market, you know, a business in the Pilates space? Like, what do you do, like, that kind of works? Like, is it referrals? Is it, you know, are you doing like ads, or like, how do you kind of get people to know that you're there and to go with you?
You know, I think all of us could agree that our biggest, you know, source of new business is referrals from our current clients. And then I think that's also part of, you know, the establishment that we have here. You know, we're constantly trying to help all the other businesses, because everything that all of us offer is different, but it's all good for all of our clients. So, you know, if I've referred many people to come and get some of Nicole's products, or to go and take some physical therapy. And I've got some people that, you know, really would benefit from Stephanee's offerings as well. And so it's good that we are able to work together as a team. You know, we're constantly promoting each other on social media and everybody's offerings. And so, you know, that's a big way that we kind of promote each other and ourselves. And then we did just do a Mother's Day.
Yeah, we were featured in Coastal VA magazine. We were also featured in the Beacon. And then I think our open house was a big one.
It was huge. It was so big.
It was fun.
It was like
Before,
several
things were shut down.
Yeah.
It was a
We're
lot of
looking forward to having a big party in here again once things settle down. Maybe that we'll see. We hope for that down in the future.
Understood. No, I love that. And our next guest, can you introduce yourself and kind of like talk about your business?
Sure. I'm Stephanee Howell, and my business is Yoga from the Heart. And I'm a yoga therapist and a meditation teacher. So I've been with Becca mostly since she opened, teaching yoga and offering one-on-one therapeutics to clients and
Love
students. And so I am a retired ICU nurse. And when I retired, I really wanted to pursue integrative care. So I went back and got a couple of degrees in psychology and some other things and decided to go the yoga therapy route. And I love this work because I do one-on-one therapeutic work with clients, and I specialize in cancer patients and survivors, and also those with trauma and PTSD. That's what I really primarily work with. So we refer to each other here. I work a lot with Becca and Andrew. I get my referrals a lot from doctors and from the Navy. I work with clients who are in the Navy. And my work is a lot about body work and mindfulness practices. So my clients work long-term with me, and they get a lot of support from me, and they are offered practices that I've designed to help support them along the way. So it's really an empowerment piece along with the body work, which is just a nice feel-good and therapeutic process. So
That's fantastic. And maybe break down some of the yoga like key pillars, if you will. I mean, we had some yoga going on in the shop when it used to be open, and I think it's just I feel like calm, mindfulness, all the wellness, space. I mean, I'm on the outside kind of looking in, but it seems like it's just, it has to become more important now that we have like even more time. Like maybe talk about like what are some of the things that you sort of do, and kind of like maybe how can someone that is maybe on the outside trying to get in, like wants to start, like where are some good places to just get started?
Well, our studio is really focused on therapeutic yoga. So that really is what makes us different. So we take it a step further, so to speak. A lot of yoga in our community is focused primarily on exercise, which is great. We take it a step further, and we really work with clients one-on-one with issues that they're having, body issues and mind issues as well. So we focus a lot on meditation, bringing mindfulness practices off the mat, so to speak. We have lots of different offerings with yoga, and we're really expanding those now in an online platform. So we're creating an online library for wellness participants, and also creating a whole mindfulness and meditation program online as well now, because things have to change with COVID. So we're not offering in-house yoga classes right now. We'll slowly move back to that over time. So to start out with yoga really is about finding the right class. It's about finding where you feel comfortable and working to your comfort level. So starting off slow and asking what is needed, having a one-on-one conversation with what are your issues? What are you looking for, right? That kind of stuff. And yoga therapy takes it a step further. So the kind of yoga therapy that I do, I work with the client's lifestyle. I work with issues that they're having. I work really closely with their therapists, so to speak. So if they're getting therapy, then their therapist can refer them to me as well for the body work and mindfulness piece. So we have lots of different levels depending on what you're, really what you're looking for. Are you looking to relax? Are you looking to create more of an exercise program? Are you looking to feel better in your body? Are you looking for community? All of those things.
That's fantastic. You said you were a nurse prior. What kind of, what skill did you kind of bring from that world that you use today? Like maybe like, it could be anything. Like what's something that you're doing that, you did in your past life?
I think I'm a natural caregiver, and I love to help people. That's really what it amounts to. And I've seen a lot of very sick people, and I think it's really beneficial to have that connection with folks, really to bring that caring to another level. That's what I love the most. So I hospice and do volunteer work with hospice. So I really like to work with those with chronic illness.
And maybe what's something you've learned kind of in your new business format now? Like what's something that like, either unexpected or something expected, something like a key takeaway?
A key takeaway has really been collaboration. Really, what is most important is all of us working together in this integrative wellness center. That's what this really is about. The integrative wellness can't be done alone. We have to have spaces for, I guess, referrals, spaces for really picking out what is our strengths and what our weaknesses so that we can work well together.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for doing this. And I'm sorry, your website, or maybe just where can we check you out?
My website, I'm on the RTC website working with them, and I also have my own website, yogafromtheheartbb.com.
And Brenna, I think I cut you before you could get your plug in on your site as well. Can you plug your website or social media?
Yep. Social media is at Brenna True Pilates, and then I'm on the RTC website.
When they're
Love
saying
it.
that's Restorative Therapy Company.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
All right, so
therapy company site, there's links out to all of us. So that would be a good place for that one. Just, that would be the hub, I think. Yeah.
got it. We'll make sure that's in the show notes. And sir, you want to kick off your bio for me?
First, thanks for having us. My name is Andrew Lantz, and I'm a co-owner of Restorative Therapy Company. I became a co-owner with my partner Becca back in September of last year. Becca couldn't be here because she couldn't fit in the camera, so we moved her. She started a Restorative Therapy Company about 4 years ago. She's also a physical therapist. She does a lot of yoga-based therapy, yoga-based medicine, and I think she got into it. I'll try and speak for her as best I can. She worked at an orthopedic practice owned by physicians for physical therapy. And as she was getting into her yoga training, I think she was finding that she couldn't really treat the way she wanted to, couldn't get that one-on-one access to patients, and saw an avenue for herself to grow professionally. So she started this place 4 years ago. She also started doing yoga classes at the old center. Stephanee came on, some other yoga therapists came on. And then as things started to grow, Beck and I have known each other for a long time and had connected over the years. And I had an opportunity to join on board. And my story is similar. I was working for an orthopedic practice, and I wanted to get more into mindfulness, pain science education, really counseling patients a little bit more rather than, just go do this exercise and I'll find out how it went, in 5 minutes while I go work on this other patient. So it was getting a little crazy there and could not practice really the way I wanted to. I loved the patients. It just didn't give me the opportunity that I needed to grow professionally and as a person. So I'm an orthopedic clinical specialist, certified strength and conditioning specialist. I dry needle, but I've really been focusing more on mindfulness, teaching the patient to be present without judgment. And of course, using my dry needling skills and those sort of things, but also really educating people more on how pain works and how their lifestyle affects it, how family members affect it, work affects it, because it's really a personalized experience. And this setting, working with patients one-on-one, has really given me the opportunity to do that. And I really appreciate Becca for giving me the opportunity, because it's been great.
That opened up like 3 questions for me, so I'm gonna try to take them one at a time. Maybe talk about the education path for you. Like what do you study, and kind of how do you certifications, that kind of thing? How do you get where you are? We start with that.
You got to get your Doctor of Physical Therapy degree, which I got it was 7 years ago now. And then obviously you need to do continuing education, but if you really want to make yourself stand out, you can get other certifications. So the orthopedic clinical specialist, it's a test, but it takes, at least a year's worth of studying to really get down. And being in an orthopedic setting really does help out with that, because you're seeing a lot of post-op patients and really orthopedic injuries. But it really cements your knowledge and allows people to know, like, hey, I have set the bar, this high, and this is what I've done to prove it. But of course, beyond that, there's a lot more to learn. As far as dry needling, that was something I got into because a couple of my friends who are physical therapists that do it were just really getting great results a lot quicker. You could have a really quick effect on pain and improve movement and movement strategies a lot faster. So that was something I was interested in. So, when you first start dry needling, that's kind of like all you want to do. Like, you get a new hammer, everything's a nail. But as you go on, you learn that you can do a lot by teaching a patient how to breathe properly and really educating them on where the pain may be coming from or how pain actually works. And there's many different lifestyle factors that can set it off. So as I've gone through the years, really counseling patients and talking with them has become a much bigger deal for me than just treating them, because you don't want the patient to be just reliant on your hands and what you do. It's more about what you teach them and how they can treat themselves.
I appreciate that overview. Yeah, no, that's amazing. So that brings the question, like, what is dry needling? Can you kind of walk through like what that is? I'm a little scared to ask, but I'm gonna have to go there.
Similar to acupuncture, it's the same tool, but it's really kind of like, like a guitar. You can play the same instrument, but a different style of music. So the way I learned was trigger point dry needling, and trigger points are these taut bands of, tissue within a muscle that are hyper irritable. And basically, so everyone's got them. You feel them in your neck. It's like these really tight knots, and they're tender when you touch them. What you can do, you can insert a needle in them and elicit what's called a twitch response, where it actually twitches and you feel like a physical release. And that releases some basically nociceptive or pain-causing chemicals that get released out, and that's one of the reasons why we think it gives immediate pain relief. So it also kind of releases that knot, allows new blood to flow in there, because with that tight knot, it wasn't getting the oxygen. And again, this is kind of theoretical, and that's one of the reasons why we think it relieves pain. But even without going into a trigger point or eliciting that twitch response, a lot of times the way the nervous system acts, and the nervous system and the brain are really what produce the pain. If you give it novel and threat-free input, then it will change the output of pain. So you're kind of confusing the nervous system in a way, and that opens up a window of opportunity for you to then move pain and threat-free. So it's more of something that I see as that it just opens up that window, and then you have to use that window for corrective exercise. So we've all probably been to a masseuse or massage therapist, and you say you were hurting or really tight, and you could feel great for 24 to 48 hours, and then it kind of resets. That's kind of what this does as well, and some of our other manual treatments do as well. But then you find that corrective exercise kind of going into maybe what they saw as threat-free before, and that keeps the window open longer. So if someone's having a problem extending their neck, you needle them, you help them find an exercise that goes into that threatening movement, and then you keep that window open, and they feel much more confident moving. So dry needling works that way, but so does just using your hands, some of the tools we use as well. So they all work in a similar fashion. Just the way I learned dry needling was this trigger point hypothesis. And there's different little sects of dry needling that use different theories, and that just happens to be one of them.
And what's kind of the most fun part about the job? Like, what gets you up in the morning? What lets you lay it all on the line?
Seeing patients get back to doing what they love to do. And that's really what it's all about. It's not just getting a certain amount of motion or anything like that. It's when you talk to them the first day, it's, hey, what are you missing out on? Why are you really here? What do you want to get back to doing? And there are times where people have trouble answering that question, but there's always something. It's, I can't hold my grandkid, I can't look over my shoulder to drive my car. It's usually something that they're missing out on that makes them feel independent. So that's what I love trying to help get them back to doing. And a lot of times they thank you for fixing them, but it's really making them a part of it and getting them to go where they need to be, like individually and independently.
That's perfect. And so you're under the same umbrella, so we can check your business out at the same place. Is that right?
Restorative.com. And yeah, I wish Becca was here because she could talk a little bit more about the yoga side. But she's done an excellent job getting an online platform going, live streaming classes. And we've even been seeing some patients through telehealth for physical therapy, which is a little bit more difficult, but you can get a great history and watch people move and really get to the root of the cause a lot of the times.
This has been fantastic, you all. Thank you so much for doing this. I think we invented something new here. Four guests in one. This is great. First time ever to do an episode like this. So I really appreciate your time, and you know, hope you're staying safe, and hope you're staying well.
Likewise.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.